Donald Trump's second presidency looks like chaos, but it's really calculated corruption of the likes we've never seen before. In just his first few months, Trump and billionaire allies have used power to enrich themselves, silence critics, and dismantle democracy completely. Let's break down the facts. Economic policy and self-enrichment. Immediately after taking office in January 2025, Trump imposed massive tariffs. 25% on imports from Canada and Mexico, 10% on China, causing market chaos. Just days later, after private meetings, he quietly reversed many tariffs, allowing insiders to profit on the sudden stock market swings. Now, this echoed Trump's first term, when tariffs cost American households over $1,200 per year and destroyed nearly 245,000 jobs, as per the Congressional Budget Office. Trump also created strategic Bitcoin reserve on day 46, causing Bitcoin prices to skyrocket to over $100,000, enriching crypto donors who gave $130 million to his campaign. Trump's family had even launched personal cryptocurrencies just days before the inauguration, directly profiting from this surge themselves. Other examples of Trump's enriching his inner circle include Richard Grenell, Trump's diplomat helping Jared Kushner secure a hotel deal in Serbia, ending enforcement of a 2020 anti-money laundering law that required transparency of corporate ownership, making it way easier for Trump and his allies to hide wealth, and opening protected Alaskan wilderness for oil drilling and mining, benefiting major fossil fuel donors directly linked to Trump. Foreign relations and Russia. Trump also drastically shifted US foreign policy towards authoritarian leaders, especially Vladimir Putin. On February 28th, Trump publicly humiliated Ukrainian President Zelensky in the Oval Office, falsely accusing him of being a dictator. Within days, he froze over $1 billion in US military aid crucial to Ukraine's defense against Russia. Trump claimed Ukraine started the war, contradicting overwhelming evidence from NATO and independent international observers who affirmed Russia's aggression. He halted cyber operations against Russia and pressured Ukraine into a minerals deal, demanding mining rights in exchange for military aid. This actually really is illegal. It echoed his first impeachment in his first term, using aid as leverage for personal gain. Trump's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told NATO allies that reclaiming Ukraine's full territory was unrealistic, signaling a willingness to accept Russia's territorial gains, undermining Ukraine and NATO unity. DOGE and government privatization. Trump established the Department of Government Efficiency, unofficially led by Elon Musk. Marketed as cost-cutting, DOGE gutted federal agencies critical to public safety, including USAID, IRS, CDC, and the EPA. This eliminated thousands of career staffers. Musk joked about openly accidentally canceling critical programs like Ebola prevention and revealing DOGE's reckless approach. DOGE promoted privatization of public services. Trump promised selling off Amtrak, merging USPS into Commerce for eventual privatization, and privatizing mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, moves benefiting billionaire hedge funds and tech investors. DOGE also placed private sector figures in government oversight roles. Airbnb billionaire Joe Gebbia oversaw privatizing federal retirement systems, potentially worth billions in private contracts. Musk secured massive federal contracts for Starlink, directly profiting from DOGE-led cuts at government agencies. Let's move on to media control and propaganda. Trump and Musk also seized control over information and media. Musk's ownership of Twitter, we don't recognize that other name, boosted Trump-friendly content and suppressed its critics. Journalists critical of Trump saw their content shadow banned or labeled as misinformation. Trump used the FCC to threaten media companies with investigations and license revocations if coverage was unfavorable to him. Independent journalism was silenced through intimidation and scientific data contradicting Trump's narrative, like climate change evidence or COVID vaccine safety. All that was systematically censored from government websites. Trump's administration even produced an AI-generated deepfake propaganda, including fake videos depicting migrants as violent, and Gaza rebuilt as luxury resorts after conflicts. These false narratives distorted reality and manipulated public opinion. Immigration as political theater. Trump weaponized immigration enforcement as political spectacle. He militarized border enforcement, sending migrants to detention facilities on military bases nationwide, and transferring some to Guantanamo Bay. He justified this by falsely claiming migrants brought crime and fentanyl, despite official statistics from Customs and Border Protections and the DEA showing that over 90%, I repeat, over 90% of fentanyl enters through legal ports of entry, primarily smuggled by American citizens. FBI statistics show immigrants consistently commit fewer crimes than native-born Americans. His policies deliberately manufactured a crisis. Thousands were wrongly deported to countries they had no ties to. Trump used misleading or false incidents like exaggerated migrant attack videos to justify militarization, all part of a strategy to consolidate executive authority through fear. Let's talk about Schedule F. Trump explicitly pursued authoritarian control by implementing Schedule F, firing over 40,000 federal employees within weeks, purging anyone that wasn't loyal to him. This mass firing mirrored Curtis Yarvin's authoritarian butterfly revolution blueprint, endorsed by Project 2025. Trump defied court orders attempting to stop mass firings. He retaliated against whistleblowers and FBI agents involved in January 6th investigations, signaling to federal workers that investigating him would end your career. Trump's administration ignored congressional spending restrictions, claiming emergency powers, allowing funds to be redirected at total will. Moving on to some of his techno allies. Trump gave unprecedented policy power to tech billionaires like Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, and Elon Musk, creating a technocratic oligarchy. Peter Thiel openly criticized democracy as incompatible with freedom and pushed Trump to dismantle anti-enforcement and labor laws, benefiting Thiel's tech investments. Mark Andreessen urged Trump to abolish environmental and ESG regulations, benefiting his AI and crypto ventures. He openly stated that they needed to let tech loose, reshaping policy really for his own personal gain. Musk's Starlink obtained huge government contracts at Verizon's expense. He even offered surveillance tools to Homeland Security to monitor migrants and protesters, blending corporate and state power into technocratic authoritarianism. Anti-woke distraction. To hide these abuses, Trump aggressively pushed an anti-woke culture war. He banned diversity and LGBTQ+ recognition in federal agencies, removing protections for transgender students. He politicized the military, banning Pride and MLK Day observances. Trump's Department of Education threatened investigations into universities for teaching about racism or gender identity, manufacturing outrage to distract from his abuses elsewhere. These battles dominated media coverage, successfully diverting public attention away from Trump's corruption and authoritarianism. Americans argued over symbolic culture issues while real abuses of power are going unchecked. Behind Trump was a powerful technocratic elite. Figures like Musk, Thiel, and Andreessen, who essentially became a shadow government. They used federal policy to advance their own interests. Musk offered AI surveillance systems to DHS, blending government and private surveillance. Thiel and Andreessen, they both proposed creating innovation zones, privatized city-states, exempt from standard laws. Trump supported privatized, billionaire-run charter cities like Musk's Starbase, laying groundwork for techno-feudal future, where billionaires rule their own private enclaves, free from democratic oversight. I want you to know that it isn't chaos. It's deliberate. It's a deliberate dismantling of democracy. And Trump's administration systematically enriches insiders, guts oversight, and dismantles democratic checks and balances. All of this hidden behind culture war clickbait distractions. This isn't about left versus right, it's about democracy versus authoritarianism. Your awareness to this is absolutely critical. You need to fight against this. You need to act. And the simplest thing you can do right now as a starter is to share this video and then demand accountability from your representatives. If we see this all clearly, we can still protect democracy. But the window for action is extremely short. Let's not let spectacle distract us from what's really at stake. Act now before this distraction becomes destruction.